Good morning, Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. Welcome back to the most listened to program in all of the Sand Hills. It is time once again for Mornings with the Leader Man. I am Steve Leader Adams, and don't forget, of course, this program being seen around the world on our live video stream. That's available to you right now at talk973.com. That will get you there if you're on a mobile device. You need your YouTube app to get you there. And that's when you put Mornings with the Leader Man into your search parameters, and you should pop up at the top. If you're just needing audio, well, we suggest many streaming services will carry us. Things like TuneIn, iTunes, Streamer, all those work. And you put WEEB in the search, and as always, you can get that radio stream right off of our website. Upper right-hand corner of every page has the link at talk973.com. Some of the thousands listening online this morning, we got Countersport, Pennsylvania, Moose Lake, Manitoba, Canada, Canton, North Carolina. Minneapolis is online. Other places in Canada are Newcastle, Pennsylvania, Kitchener, Ontario. A lot of them don't tell me what city here. These sneaky boys don't tell me your address. Chicago, Illinois, St. George, Utah, Struthers, Ohio, Savannah, Georgia, just to name a few. Got Rome, New York, Warwick, Rhode Island, lots in North Carolina, West Fork, Arkansas, Orlando, Florida. Just a few online with us this morning, including Fuquay Marina, Lexington, Kentucky. Weather for us today here in the Sand Hills area, well, might get rid of some of this mess that just doesn't ever seem to want to leave. We should see partly cloudy skies today. Kind of warm. It's going to be warm for the next 3-4 days. Wow. Partly cloudy today. High of 61 tonight. 31 for a low. Tomorrow, more sunshine and 64 for Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day night, mostly cloudy. 44 for a low. Then for Friday, mostly cloudy. High of 68. Saturday, scattered showers. 62. Sunday, partly cloudy and 55. Monday, mostly cloudy, 56. And 50 on Tuesday. Right now around the Sand Hills, winds are calm. Visibility 10 statute miles. Pressure is 2997. Dew point 36. Humidity 86%. It's clear and 40 degrees here at Talk 97.3 FM. 104.1 FM, 990 AM, WEEB. All righty, let's see what we got here. Moving on to our sound bites this morning. In sports last night, it heard on us, ball game heard on this station. Louisville had a 23-point lead over Duke with 9 minutes left in the game, but they fell apart on offense, and Duke made their biggest comeback in Coach K's career. You'd have to go back to 1951 for the last time the Duke was down by so many points and came back to win. Here's the final call as Louisville fails to tie the game. Final score, 71-69.
Cunningham over goal wire. Zion Williamson pulls it away, and the Blue Devils with a comeback for the ages. The biggest second-half comeback in Mike Krzyzewski's career at Duke.
All right. Of course, you can hear all the Duke games right here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. Pre-game starts an hour before tip-off, and plus they have the post-game comments. Well, tomorrow's Valentine's Day. Gentlemen, you need to listen to this message if you want to stay married, that is.
Nothing says I love you like a last-minute dash to the store on your way home on Valentine's Day, only to pick up a dozen roses that have been sitting in a bucket for a few days. And one of the last Valentine cards on the shelf? Oh, and don't forget the obligatory box of chocolates from the grocery store chain. Come on, guys. Just once. Don't phone it in.
This message brought to you by almost every woman who's been married for more than 10 years.
While America has a huge fascination with documentaries about murderers and serial killers, you know, some women love them so much they're falling in love with the guys. There are literally guys in prison that get letters from women wanting to get to know them, and they exchange letters and live in this fantasy world to the point some of them actually get married. Now, they never can touch each other, but they get married. Anyway, ladies, why be alone on Valentine's Day when you could be trying out for this new show?
Americans are obsessed with shows about prisoners, murderers, cold-blooded serial killers. Viewers can't get enough. And believe it or not, some women are falling in love with these men.
Stephen has become the world's strangest sex symbol now. Women lining up to be his next wife.
I knew that if there was another season of the documentary, I was going to be Stephen's girlfriend.
Well, ladies, coming soon, the new dating show, Making a Date with a Murderer. Each week, we'll profile 3 different killers, and our weekly winner will choose which felon she'd like to have a prison dinner with. Then we'll ask the big question.
Shelley, it's time to decide. Will you be sentenced to life in love, or are you going to make a jailbreak of the heart?
It's Making a Date with a Murderer. Coming soon to Netflix. You know you'll watch it.
All right, time for our thought bubbles for today. First up, that little bubble that pops above your wife's head, which says...
And now, here's today's thought bubble.
Oh, it's almost Valentine's Day. Better be nicer to the old hubby. Wonder what he's going to get me this year.
And what's in the thought bubble above the husband's head?
And now, here's today's thought bubble.
Wait a second. Wife's being really nice to me. Oh, crap. It's almost Valentine's Day. I have no idea what to get her.
There you go. Stressful time of the year. Senior citizens are full of wisdom. Why don't we get some, shall we?
And now, Valentine's Day tips from the elderly.
A word to the wise out there. Those 3 words, I love you, can be damn expensive.
This has been Valentine's Day tips from the elderly.
All right. Well, we also, yesterday, we gave you one of the rejected songs this Valentine's season that just didn't make the playlist. Here's another one that we cut out yesterday.
I hate you, despise you, but after 10 years I've stayed the course. Can't stand you, wanna kill you, but it's cheaper to stay married than get divorced. Happy Valentine's Day.
Okay. And be sure, do not forget, it's Galentine's Day, the holiday that Amy Poehler made up on Parks and Recreation. Every February 13th, women get together for brunch with the girlfriends. No husband or boyfriend's allowed to give each other homemade gifts and talk about girl stuff. So Galentine's Day is just the gals. Get it? Yeah. Some people actually do it in real life now, too.
What's Galentine's Day? Oh, it's only the best day of the year. Every February 13th, my lady friends and I leave our husbands and our boyfriends at home, and we just come and kick it breakfast style. Ladies celebrating ladies. It's like Lilith Fair, minus the angst. Plus frittatas.
All right, from a stupid file, an employee at a Home Depot in Wichita, Kansas called 911 to report a bomb threat after a guy in the bathroom said, quote, "Y'all need to leave. I'm fixing to blow this place up." Now, would you take that as a hostile bomb threat? Or some man getting ready to go to the bathroom? Police investigated and realized it was just a guy warning people that after he went to a bathroom stall, what might happen. And check out some of the 911 call. In the employee's defense, he tells the operator what he heard was, somebody told me there's a bomb in here. You need to leave the building. Got kind of lost in translation.
We just had a customer here apparently made what may have been a bomb threat.
Okay, what exactly did he say?
He said, somebody told me there's a bomb in here, you need to leave the building. He said it 3 times.
All right. Well, here's why you don't rob a bank in Maine in the dead of winter. A 37-year-old guy used a BB gun to rob a bank about 70 miles north of Portland yesterday. Then he tried to run away, but slipped on a patch of ice and fell. And a cop happened to be right there when it happened. Here's the police spokesperson and an eyewitness talking about this faux pas.
He brandished a handgun that we later learned was a BB gun and demanded money. He escaped with an unknown amount of cash and fled east across Upper Main Street.
He was being chased by something. I didn't know what, though, at the point. And then he fell, and I started yelling.
Special Agent Lang obviously recognized the combination of a running person, money, and gun, and realized that something was amiss and took Mr. McElroy into custody.
Yeah, they make it sound so sterile, don't they? Why don't they just say, oh, idiot, runs out, and tries to run on ice, didn't work out, falls down right in front of a police guy. There's the money gun and person on the ice. I think we figured it out. Meanwhile, a guy who had been beaten and kidnapped popped out of the trunk of a car outside a convenience store in Daytona Beach, Florida. This happened Monday night. Police found drugs on him. So they think the whole thing was drug-related. Some guy called 911 about it, but wouldn't say what city he was in for an entire minute. So the operator got pretty frustrated.
911, where's your emergency?
Yeah, I need the rescue. It's a Wawa.
Which Wawa?
Somebody was Wawa, and he was kidnapped. He's at Wawa, and he's laying in the parking lot. He just got out of a truck. He's in.
Okay.
He needs rescue. He's breathing, but he needs rescue.
Okay, sir. Which Wawa?
He's got tape around his throat. He's got tape around his throat.
Sir, which Wawa are you at? Which city?
The one, I can't hear you.
The one where?
No, I don't know. This person's laying in the middle of the parking lot.
Okay, sir, listen to me. Which city are you in? Which Wawa?
The one.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, I barely can hear you. I just need the police here at the Wawa. I need rescue.
Okay, okay, sir.
Okay, Ray Clark.
Is the patient breathing?
Okay. Well, is your kid developing a British accent? You may have heard this before, but some parents say the kids are starting to talk with a British accent after watching too much, I hope I got this character's name right, Peppa Pig, a British kids cartoon.
George? Say Peppa and, say it, Peppa.
Peppa.
And?
George. Can I mix it in a bowl?
Ooh, that looks good.
Can I mix it? Can I mix it?
How does Peppa Pig say no?
No.
How does she say water?
Water.
How does she say daddy?
Daddy.
How does she say mommy?
Mommy.
How does she say George?
George.
Your kid too can talk like the British, I guess.
I'm Peppa Pig. This is my little brother George. This is Mummy Pig. And this is Daddy Pig. Peppa Pig.
Maybe you want to pick them up from in front of the TV. Guy on YouTube played Bohemian Rhapsody on guitar, but used chopsticks instead of a pick. And how does that sound? I know you're curious. Here's a little bit. And you get the drift. Nike self-lacing shoes has hit the stores, are going to hit the stores this Sunday. Their new self-lacing shoes, they're called Nike Adapt BBs. And they'll take $350 out of your pocket to give you a pair. Here's a scene from Back to the Future where Marty McFly tries on the Nikes for the power laces.
Power laces, all right.
Yeah, cool. A house in New York, from our good news file, had a gas leak. That's not the good news. Happened Wednesday, but no one was home but the family dog, a pit bull named Sadie. So she pushed open a sliding glass door, broke through a fence, and ran around the neighborhood barking until police responded. Then she led them back to the house where the police smelled gas coming from the basement. A woman lives there with her 4-year-old daughter, and the police say the dog saved them from a possible explosion.
We got a call of a loose pit bull. When they went to go investigate, they noticed an odor of gas emanating from the doorway.
What do you think she was doing?
I don't know. I want to say bringing them here. What else could it be?
How was she able to do that?
I don't know. It saved us. I almost it makes me want to cry.
Okay. Have you thought about Bill Cosby since he got put into prison for drugging all the women, having uncontested or non-consensual sex with them? Well, Bill Cosby's spokesperson, Andrew Wyatt, says the prison has been an amazing experience for old Bill and that he's working on staying healthy and getting in shape. He's now working out every morning, and he's given up bread, dessert, and coffee. He also talked about how Cosby pours water over his food to remove the sodium.
He looks really amazing. He's down to 195 pounds. He hasn't eaten any bread, no dessert, and he hasn't drank any coffee since he's been in there. Now, the funny part about it, Mrs. Cosby has been trying to stop him from drinking coffee for 55 years, and she said it took this to stop him from drinking coffee. They wake him up at 3:30 a.m., and he exercises. He's in his cell. He does leg lifts. He pushes up against the bed and does push-ups to stay in shape. He showers, and he waits for breakfast. He puts it in a little cup. He runs water in the cup over the food, shakes the food up, and drains it. And he does that 3 times, and he eats the food. He's mentally strong. He's just a strong man. He said despite the circumstances, he said this is an amazing experience.
Well, if that's where you are, you might as well make the most of it, I guess. Ray Romano was on Jimmy Kimmel last night and talked about how he asks his kids weird hypothetical questions. Why is it, by the way, that you ever notice that when comedians or actors, once were funny and then they have kids and then that's all they talk about are their kids and how wonderful and amusing their kid is. Anyway, here's Romano.
The one I did with Matt, when he was like about 8 and he was just getting into basketball, we were in the backyard, and I said to him, Matt, if I gave you 2 shots, if someone gave you 2 shots, and all you got to do is make one, and if you do, you get all the money in the world, right into the basket. But if you miss them both, you lose your leg. And I'm saying this to an 8-year-old. And he thought about it, and he says, I don't know. And I said, all right, forget about it. And then 2 days later, we were driving in the car, and from the back seat, he goes, Dad, would your leg just fall off, or would they have to cut it off? It's a really good question. Yes, and I told him, I guess they got to cut it off. He went, I'm not doing it. He said, I'm not doing it. Yeah.
But the audience thought it was hilarious. Ozzy Osbourne's hospitalized, has been since last week after complications from the flu. Must have got a flu shot. Yesterday, his wife Sharon said he's doing great and breathing on his own now.
He's doing great. He's out of ICU. He's doing good. He's breathing on his own. He's got one of those machines with that little thing in that you have to make go up to the top, and he's doing good. He really is. And I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody that has reached out with good wishes. He's overcome by the response that he's had, and it just makes him, it's kind of bittersweet because he's so overwhelmed with it, but he's sad too.
Yeah. Well, we're so happy he's getting better.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we're all happy if somebody's getting better. You know Gary Sinise, best known as Lieutenant Dan in Forrest Gump. But you ain't got no legs, Lieutenant Dan. But he has a foundation. And he goes around and does a lot for veterans. He has concerts to raise money for them. He helps build the houses, so forth and so on. And by the way, on today's Zumwalt extension, or the extended Zumwalt zone, which is coming at 8:30, Don's going to be interviewing the head of the local veterans organization and see what all they're doing in this area to help our veterans. But back to Gary for a moment. He's been doing it for 40 years, helping those of the armed forces, veterans, and first responders. So they got a bunch of people to help, including Jay Leno, Ron Howard, Kelly Pickler, Colin Powell, Tim Allen, Rob Lowe, Robert De Niro, Robin Roberts, Judd Apatow, I don't even know how to say it. Anyway, Tom Hanks, along with the Medal of Honor recipient, Gold Star families, and others, to make a video honoring Gary for his foundation. We're not going to do the whole video here, but...
Hi, Gary. Jay Leno. Just want to say thanks for all you do for the men and women of the armed forces.
Your commitment, your dedication, your effort, you are awesome.
You are greatly appreciated coast to coast in the U.S. and base to base across the globe.
Thank you for all the things you have done for our young men and women who have served their nation.
It's really heartwarming and so incredibly meaningful, all of the amazing things that you do.
You motivate other people.
More than anything, thank you for everything that you do for our warriors, our men and women all over the world.
The work that your foundation has done, especially with the Snowball Express, will remain a meaningful part of these young people's lives forever.
You're doing the right thing because you truly care for us, and that means so much to me and everyone else in this Gold Star community.
As a proud military brat, that's my daddy, I want to say thank you.
Thanks, Lieutenant Dan.
Congratulations on all of your incredible work. I am talking very fast because you have a lot of people to get to.
Thanks, Lieutenant Dan.
Okay. Last night, from the Late Night Boys, I don't even care about these. And we have time, we'll come back to it. All right, things we need to know today so we do not sound stupid. The Grammy Award attracted 19.9 million Nielsen TV viewers and $95 million in ad revenue for CBS per Kantar Media estimates. The cost of a 30-second ad during the event ranged between $1.2 million and $1.3 million. Man, if we could just sell one ad at that price here, woo. Justin Timberlake canceled both his scheduled concerts in Tacoma over the weekend due to snow and will not be rescheduling them. Drake is still mad at the Grammys for cutting him off. You know, you're allotted so many seconds and then they whack you off, cut your mic off. Iowa's considering allowing voters to vote by phone. What could possibly go wrong with that idea? Gee, I don't know. Rough weather in Hawaii. 191 mile per hour winds have been clocked. That's about a Cat 5 storm there. 60-foot waves, rare snow in Maui. Sears is still hanging in there and going to keep going with 425 stores open during their bankruptcy reorganization. And get this, Gucci and Prada just got in trouble for designs that invoke blackface, and now pop star Katy Perry's fashion line is getting flack too. Man, you can't do anything without the PC crowd coming around and finding something offensive about it. Her brand made unusual shoes that have a face on them, with blue eyes and red lips stuck onto the uppers in Mr. Potato Head fashion. There's a black version and a tan version. The Oscars have already have some controversy on their hands. I mean, they hand out so many Oscars, you don't see them all on TV. During the commercials, they continue to hand out Oscars. It's just for categories they find that are not worthy of the live TV broadcast. So they do it during the commercial part of the program. And they've decided to move 4 of the awards to the commercial breaks, and they are cinematography, film editing, makeup, hairstyling, and live-action short films. The strangest thing TS agents caught people trying to sneak on flights during the past year includes spear guns, saw blades, a Freddy Krueger-style claw glove, a small mortar, and an ice axe. Don't you feel safe? McDonald's may have another winner here. They're experimenting with serving donut sticks for breakfast. I mean, all you had to say was the word donut. You had me a donut. Retired astronaut Mark Kelly, whose Congresswoman wife, Gabriella Giffords, was shot in a failed assassination attempt, announced Tuesday he's running to finish John McCain's last term in the U.S. Senate. Swift voters have rejected a plan to curb urban sprawl. Well, let's keep everybody out. We're not going to allow anybody else in. And the study says an ingredient in McDonald's French fries may cure baldness. You heard me right. May cure baldness. Make that a large fry today. Today's possible question. The average cost of this is expected to be about $170. The average cost of this is expected to be about $170. And that is going to be your dinner tomorrow night on Valentine's Day. Yeah. According to a study, a guy who keeps his email inbox tidy probably organizes his life well. Well, isn't that special? In a survey, people were asked to describe their spouse in one word. The number one answer was... Now think about it. How would your spouse describe you? Doesn't matter whether you're man or woman. The number one answer was stubborn. Number two answer was sweet. So I guess you're sweet but stubborn. Around 15% of people have eaten an entire cake at least once in their life, although they might not admit to it. 72% of adults in their 20s and 30s will push an already lit elevator button when riding an elevator. Yeah, you know how it is. You push the button and it's fully lit, and a person comes up, and of course, you don't know how to push an elevator button. They do, so they come up and push it 2-3 times. So that's how you get an elevator here. The average person will move 11 times in their life. And a recent study says that the average person begins to consider other people's feelings around the age of 33. All right, well, let's help you get a job right quick. You may come in early, leave late, and never miss the deadline. So why aren't you getting the coveted promotion for which you have worked so hard? Well, you can blame it on the tattoo. Physical appearance can actually hurt your career advancement prospects. According to CareerBuilder.com, they surveyed 2,100 hiring and human resource managers across the industry and company sizes, and a surprising 27% of employers said a visible tattoo connects a promotion. You got to remember, you're representing the company. You're an extension of them. Not everybody's so open-minded as you might be. Why, it's not right to discriminate against my tattoo. Maybe not right, but that doesn't matter when the person that's making the decision thinks that way. Here are the top 10 things that can cost you your promotion. Provocative attire, wrinkled clothing, or shabby appearance. Like I said, I went to a funeral this weekend, and one of the guys there looked like he slept in his suit. The collar was turned up because he just hadn't bothered to fix it. Hair looked like it had been slept on, and he didn't bother to comb it. And he walks out in public like that. Piercings outside of traditional ear piercings. Attire that's too casual for the workplace. Other things that can cost you your promotion: visible tattoos, an unprofessional or ostentatious haircut, unprofessional or ostentatious facial hair, bad breath, heavy perfume or cologne. The kind that smell you coming down the hall 10 minutes before you arrive, and too much makeup. So, bear all that in mind. All right, coming up on 8 o'clock, comes your latest news, sports, and weather. It all starts right now.
Our cold front has moved on by, but there's still a lot of cloud cover lagging behind the front. It'll be partly to mostly cloudy this morning, partly to mostly cloudy this afternoon, and that mostly cloudy aspect east of I-95. Windy and mild with mid-50s to low 60s. Tonight is mostly clear. It's a colder night. The low temperature in the low to mid-30s. Valentine's Day, morning sunshine, mostly cloudy later in the day. Our highs in the low to mid-60s. Mostly cloudy and milder on Friday. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
Broadcasting from the top of the North Carolina Sandhills, 97.3 FM, 104.1FM, and 990 AM, WEEB, Southern Pines, Pinehurst, Aberdeen.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. President Trump may not be pleased with the congressional border security compromise, but he does not anticipate another partial government shutdown.
A day after the bipartisan agreement was reached, the president was asked if he was happy with the compromise.
The answer is no, I'm not. I'm not happy.
He didn't say definitively if he would sign the deal, but did signal that the government is likely to remain open.
I don't think you're going to see a shutdown. I wouldn't want to go to it now. If you did have it, it's the Democrats' fault.
The president said the bottom line is the wall's getting built. Greg Clugston, the White House.
New York City police mourning the loss of one of their own, the tragedy compounded by word that it was a case of one officer mistakenly firing on a fellow officer.
At a late-night news conference at Jamaica Hospital Trauma Center, New York Mayor Bill de Blasio called it
very difficult, painful night for our city.
Responding to a robbery in progress, Detective Brian Simonson was fatally shot. Even more tragic, Police Commissioner James O'Neill said,
"At this hour, I will tell you that this appears to be an absolute tragic case of friendly fire."
Another officer was shot in the leg. The suspect was shot multiple times and was listed in stable condition. I'm Mike Rossi.
It's all about money. Denver teachers remain on strike, walking the picket lines for a third day in a pay dispute with the school district. Striker Noah Kaplan.
District and the union have been in conversations for over 15 months, and I think we're hopeful, but we'll be here as long as we have to in order to make sure we're getting paid a fair living wage.
More talk scheduled later today, and this is also about money. The national debt passing a new milestone, topping $22 trillion for the very first time. Wall Street this morning, stock futures pointing to a higher open. Right now, Dow futures up 85 points, S&P futures 8 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
When it comes to your pain, many of you might be skeptical, like I was, about ordering Relief Factor. Pat Boone again for this wonderful 100% drug-free supplement designed to help your own body lower or eliminate occasional aches and pains due to aging, exercise, everyday living. I'm not skeptical any longer. The 3-week quick start is now discounted to only $19.95. Why don't you let us see if we can get you out of pain, too, at ReliefFactor.com.
Are you a responsible person who finds yourself growing deeper in credit card debt? Then get ready for a toll-free number that will put you on a path to financial recovery. Trinity Debt Management will consolidate your accounts and work with your creditors. You'll save thousands and become debt-free for keeps. If your debt has you down, we should talk. Call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976. 1-800-990-6976. 1-800-990-6976.
More questions being raised about the status of Brexit, the UK's pending departure from the European Union, and the plans of Prime Minister Theresa May.
The reported comments by the government's chief negotiator, Ollie Robbins, that Mrs May could wait until the end of March before presenting MPs with a choice between her deal and a lengthy delay to Brexit have alarmed many Brexiteers. This morning, however, the Brexit secretary sought to reassure them, insisting Mr Robbins's alleged remarks did not reflect government policy. They were, he said, second-hand comments overheard in a noisy bar. The suggestion that Mrs May could delay any vote until the last week of March is likely to reinforce moves by MPs to try and block such an outcome.
That's the BBC's Norman Smith reporting. Iran's supreme leader says talks with the U.S. will bring nothing but material and spiritual harm. Townhall.com. Millions of Americans aren't keeping up with their auto loan payments.
7 million borrowers have fallen behind in auto loan payments, according to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, a 2.4% delinquency rate, the highest in almost a decade. While some think it could spell trouble for the auto industry and even the broader economy, other analysts say the delinquency rate is up because auto sales spiked in 2016. There are more loans financed and they cost more, averaging more than $500 a month. Last year, consumers financed $584 billion for new vehicles, the highest figure on record. I'm Jackie Quinn.
Top executives of T-Mobile and Sprint taking the case for their $26.5 billion merger to Congress. They argue that joining their companies will not harm competition or jack up prices for wireless services. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Begin the year with a new car from Leith Honda Aberdeen. With a huge selection of new 2018 and 2019 vehicles, great prices, and no games or gimmicks, Leith Honda Aberdeen makes it easy for you, no matter what your budget is. We have special interest rates as low as 0.9% APR and sign and drive leases with no money down that could put you in a new car today. Leith Honda Aberdeen, easy to get to and easy to deal with. Come in today.
Great news. Get into an available Ram, Jeep, Chrysler, or Dodge with easy pricing. Only at Leith Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Aberdeen. During the Ram Truck Month, new 2018 and 2019 vehicles are available with easy pricing. Just ask. At Leith in Aberdeen, we're easy to get to, easy to deal with, and the home of easy pricing in Aberdeen. Leith Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Aberdeen. The name you can trust. Tax tag and $598 administrative documentary fee additional.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free.
Pride Plumbing is proud to serve Moore County with superior workmanship and dependable plumbing service, including 24/7 emergency service. Like the name says, we take pride in our work and your safety. Our employees must pass background and drug tests and share Pride Plumbing's reputation for quality service. From simple leaky faucets to new water heaters and sewer lines, backflow testing and installation, drain cleaning, plumbing repairs, and, if necessary, replacement and remodeling. A family business with over 50 years of prideful service. Go online to callprideplumbing.com and check out our 5-star customer reviews. We offer a 10% discount to all veterans and active military. Call Pride Plumbing of Moore County at 910-295-0152. 910-295-0152. Serving with pride since 1965.
Aaron Cooper here with Cooper Ford, your only locally owned Ford dealership in Moore County. 2018 was a phenomenal year, and we're off to a great start in 19. With 0% available on select models and discounts as much as $15,000, now is a great time to come see us at Cooper Ford and experience for yourself the difference a family-owned dealership can make. Straightforward pricing without all the hassle. I'm Aaron Cooper, and I want to know you by name and show you how car buying should be. Please come visit us in historic Carthage or visit us on the web at cooperford.net. We're working hard to be your hometown dealer.
We're your locally owned Benjamin Moore retailer. We're your store for quality with brilliant and durable paints in a variety of sheens and thousands of colors. We're your store for service with one-on-one advice for contractors and homeowners. We're your local experts, and we're here to help you with all your painting projects. Benjamin Moore, paint like no other. Genuine Benjamin Moore paint. Exclusively at JB Short Carpet 1. JB Short Carpet 1 on Highway 1 North between Southern Pines and Bass. Or on the web at shortcarpet1.com.
NCN News. I'm Mike Rayleigh. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says President Trump got a pretty good deal in border security negotiations. McConnell says he spoke with the president and recommended Tuesday that he sign the bill into law. CBS News congressional correspondent Nancy Cordes.
What they're trying to do is put as much pressure on the president as possible by saying, look, this is supported overwhelmingly by Republicans here on Capitol Hill who do not want to see another partial shutdown, and you, Mr. President, should sign it.
Visitation for Congressman Walter Jones will begin at 4 p.m. today at St. Peter Catholic Church in Greenville. The congressman's body will lie in repose until 8 p.m. at the church. Jones' funeral mass will be at the church on Thursday at 1:30 p.m. A private burial will follow. His friend, North Carolina Congressman G.K. Butterfield, tells WITN News.
He was the military congressman, the epitome of being a military congressman. He supported our military, he supported our veterans, and demonstrated that every day. And anyone who knew Walter Jones knew that he was an independent thinker.
Tomorrow marks the first anniversary of the shooting rampage that left 17 people dead at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. The shooting spawned several student movements to try to change gun laws and make schools safer. David Hogg was the most visible of the student activists.
The second we start debating these things is the second we fail, because that's when another person dies. We can't let other Americans be the enemy of this issue.
Authorities in Hickory are investigating an early morning fatal crash involving a sheriff's deputy. Officials say the crash involved a Catawba County deputy, but that was not the person who died. The deputy was not seriously injured. A Lincoln County man was arrested on Tuesday afternoon in connection with threats made to North Buncombe Elementary School. Kevin Darrell Lewis had been charged with 2 counts of false report of mass violence at an educational property. You're listening to NCN News.
Where are the leaders of tomorrow shaped and molded? They're shaped on the courts, fields, mats, and tracks of the North Carolina High School Athletic Association. The NCHSAA is our 417-member schools, impacting communities across the state of North Carolina. From Murphy to Manteo, the NCHSAA is coaches, administrators, and officials working tirelessly to invest in the next generation of leaders for our great state. Who are we? We are high school. We are the NCHSAA.
State lawmakers are cranking up a new legislative session. Everything's on the table. The budget, education, transportation, regulation. What are they doing, and how is it affecting you, your family, your business, your wallet? Carolina Journal helps you find answers. Available each month as a free newspaper. Every day online at carolinajournal.com. Carolina Journal, your #1 source for government news that affects you. Visit carolinajournal.com today.
2 school buses collided Tuesday afternoon on Highway 210 in Harnett County, and at least 1 student was injured. It's unclear what caused the crash, but a Jeep was also run off the road trying to avoid the buses. One of the student's mothers tells ABC 11 she was contacted about the crash, but when she arrived, he wasn't there.
Just a little nervous. All I know is that I got a phone call stating that my son was in an accident.
Thousands of military families say they're being forced to live in unhealthy conditions, and the Senate is looking for answers. Over to CBS's Vicki Barker.
Military spouses Shannon Razadin and Crystal Cornwall are heading into today's hearing with just some of the complaints they've gathered from thousands of military families.
They shared stories of black mold, of lead paint, of rats, roaches, bats.
There is no way that any kind of service member can do their job when their family is not safe at home.
They want lawmakers to crack down on the private contractors managing more than 200,000 homes on on U.S. military bases. Vicki Barker, CBS News.
A high wind warning has been issued for Avery, Yancey, and Mitchell counties through 6 p.m. on Wednesday. Meteorologists say to expect strong and very gusty winds across the North Carolina mountains. Give us back our cars. That's the plea from police in Papua New Guinea, where nearly 300 cars used to ferry around world leaders during last year's APEC summit have gone missing. BBC correspondent Phil Mercer has more.
284 vehicles used to ferry officials have yet to be returned. The police believe they know where most of them are. Fortunately, 40 custom-made Maserati cars imported for the gathering of world leaders have been recovered and are safely locked away. Critics said that buying expensive cars was a slap in the face to people living in poverty in the South Pacific nation.
Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
Well, we're starting the day off with cloud cover. It's a lot of upper-level clouds, and they may be slow to shift out of the area. We'll keep it partly to mostly cloudy for the day. The thicker cloud cover in our eastern counties this afternoon. Windy with mid-50s to low 60s, the highs. Mostly clear and colder tonight. The low temperatures in the low to mid-30s. Valentine's Day, we're going to start the day with sunshine, but mostly cloudy skies develop later in the day. It's milder. Our highs in the low to mid-60s. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
Right now here in the Sand Hills area, it's sunny, 41 degrees, humidity 79%, dew point 35, pressure 30 even. Winds west-southwest at 5. The visibility is at 10 statute miles. 8:13, let's take a quick look at your Sand Hills news for this Wednesday hump day. A Randolph County man is accused of taking indecent liberties with a child, according to a news release from the sheriff's office. James Allen Edwards, 31, charged with felony indecent liberties with a child. He's being held at the Moore County Detention Center under a $150,000 bond. According to jail records, the alleged offense happened back in October. Edwards was arrested on Monday. The sheriff's office said Edwards is a resident of Archdale at a city near Greensboro. The detention center website lists a second address for Edwards in Forest City. His first court date will be this Thursday. And the Pinehurst Police Department is investigating the theft of one vehicle and break-ins to 9 other vehicles overnight. According to Pinehurst Police Deputy Chief Glenn Webb, the incidents occurred between 11 p.m. Monday and 6 a.m. Tuesday in the area of Vinci Highway 5 and Monticello Drive. Investigation efforts are underway to determine the person or persons responsible for the crime. Anyone with info asked to call the Pinehurst Police Department at 295-3141. That's your latest Sand Hills news this morning, but stand by. Here comes all your latest in sports right here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM, WEEB. It is 8:15.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. Who turned off the TV last night? Anybody who rode off Duke on the road, down by more than 20 with less than 10 minutes to play, well, they would think that's a great decision, especially after they saw the Blue Devils go 2 for 17 to open the second half. But number 2 Duke had other ideas. They got hot and shut down the Cardinals over the final 9 minutes and 54 seconds to overcome the 23-point deficit and beat number 16 Louisville 71-69.
Well, we were very fortunate. You know, it's a great win for us. But their team, you know, outplayed us for 30 minutes. I mean, not just outplayed, they outcompeted us. You know, I know, look, I commend them. They probably were more deserving of winning than the last 10 minutes. We were spectacular.
Zion Williamson finished with 27 points and 12 rebounds. Cam Reddish had 16 of his 22 points after halftime, including the game-tying 3 with 1:28 left and the go-ahead free throws with 14 seconds to play. R.J. Barrett added 13 for Duke, which has now won 8 in a row, despite shooting a season-low 37% from the field. One other North Carolina D1 program in play last night. Kellen Grady went 10 of 12 from the line and finished with 28 points for Davidson as they beat Fordham 79-69. Next up for the Wildcats, revenge. They're home Friday against St. Joe's. The Hawks beat the Wildcats by a point last month. Other finals last night involving teams in the top 25. Number 19 LSU beat 5th-ranked Kentucky 73-71. Penn State pulled off a huge upset, beating number 6 Michigan 75-69. 10th-ranked Marquette beat DePaul. Number 11 Michigan State beat 20th-ranked Wisconsin 67-59. Number 24 Maryland beat 12th-ranked Purdue. 18th-ranked Kansas State beat Texas, and number 25 Buffalo topped Akron 76-70. This is NCN Sports.
There's a new risky scheme circulating in Raleigh that's going to hurt our teachers, state employees, and retirees.
The state treasurer is floating this risky scheme that will cut more than $400 million in payments to your local doctors and hospitals. Those cuts will cripple local hospitals, meaning state employees, teachers, and retirees on the state health plan will have limited access to hospitals and doctors in your community. This risky scheme will cut services. It will take away your choice about who you want to care for you and your family.
If the state treasurer really wants to cut costs to the state health plan, he needs to work with doctors and hospitals to prevent illness, manage chronic diseases, and help folks lose weight and stay healthy.
Healthy employees and retirees will save the state health plan money. Isn't that what the treasurer says he wants?
Let's stop pointing fingers and start working to build a smarter state health plan by protecting patients and supporting the folks who take care of them.
That's the North Carolina way of doing things.
Paid for by Partners for Innovation in Healthcare.
Carolina in Ottawa last night. They scored 4 unanswered goals in the third period. Michael Furland opened the scoring 16 seconds in. Then Justin Williams scored a beauty on a wrist shot from the high slot during a 5-on-3 power play before Trovo Trevinen netted his 16th and 17th goals of the season in a 4-1 win over the Senators.
It wasn't a great first 2 periods. It wasn't terrible, but we were just a little off. And obviously coming out in the third and getting one right away just kind of settled everybody down. And then I thought after that we kind of played a pretty good game.
With the win, the Canes wrap up a season-long 5-game road trip where they went 4-1 with 2 shutouts. They blanked the Penguins and the Rangers. And over their last 20 games, the Hurricanes are 14-5-1. And during that time, they've scored a league-high 76 goals, and the 27 points they've earned during that stretch since New Year's Eve is second best in the league. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
Begin the year with a new car from Leith Honda Aberdeen. With a huge selection of new 2018 and 2019 vehicles, great prices, and no games or gimmicks, Leith Honda Aberdeen makes it easy for you, no matter what your budget is. We have special interest rates as low as 0.9% APR and sign and drive leases with no money down that could put you in a new car today. Leith Honda Aberdeen. Easy to get to and easy to deal with. Come in today.
Great news. Get into an available Ram, Jeep, Chrysler, or Dodge with easy pricing. Only at Leith Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Aberdeen. During the Ram Truck Month, new 2018 and 2019 vehicles are available with easy pricing. Just ask. At Leith and Aberdeen, we're easy to get to, easy to deal with, and the home of easy pricing in Aberdeen. Leith Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Aberdeen. The name you can trust. Tax tag and $598 administrative documentary fee additional.
Next to your home, your vehicle is one of the largest investments you'll make. Hey, it's Anthony from Champion Car Wash and Detail Shop. People tell us all the time, I have a vehicle at home that I only wash by hand and I don't need to have it detailed all the time. Well, did you know that Champion hand washes vehicles too? Give us a call at 692-5060 to find a time to get your vehicle properly hand washed using the 3-bucket method to ensure your vehicle's cleaned as gently as possible. That's Champion Car Wash and Detail Shop near the corner of Morganton and Broad in Southern Pines.
Jump into the fire at Brick's Woodfire Pizza at the Kohl's Shopping Center and check out the new menu. In addition to the great selection of wood-fire pizzas, Brick's now has wood-fired wings in 3 flavors, delicious soups, pastas, salads, and sandwiches, all made fresh daily. Brick's Pizza now serves Sunday brunch from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. with your choice of 6 menu items and all bottles of wine Sundays at half price. Jump into the fire at Brick's Woodfire Pizza, Kohl's Shopping Center, Southern Pines. Open every day at 11 a.m.
You can jump into the fire.
American playboy Bernard Laurent is living in Paris with his fiancée Gloria, and Gretchen, and Gabriella. All 3 women are airline stewardesses who are only home every 3 days. And of course, none of them know about the others. So hilarity ensues in Temple Theater's latest comedy, Boeing Boeing, on stage February 14th through March 3rd. Unfortunately for Bernard, his perfect setup of being happily engaged to 3 different women is bound to run into trouble at some point. Things begin to unravel when there is a change to the women's flight orders, making it increasingly difficult to keep them apart, and eventually bringing all 3 of them home on the same day. Don't miss Boeing on stage February 14th through March 3rd. Tickets are $27 and available by calling the Temple box office at 919-774-4155 or online at templeshows.com. That's 919-774-4155 or online at templeshows.com. Sponsored by First Bank and the Edward Jones Investment Offices of Brian Mathis, Dargan Moore, and James Mitchell.
Hey, this is Steve Leader Adams. You know, for many years I've had arthritis in my right shoulder. I was at the point that surgery was the only option. Then I discovered pressure wave therapy, available at Wright Chiropractic in Seven Lakes. Pressure wave therapy is a machine that concentrates pulses of pressure waves into your joint at a rate of 2,000 pulses per minute. The treatment is non-invasive and there is no downtime. Pressure waves help your body restore blood flow to your damaged joints and can even remove bone spurs and works on almost any joint in the body, including knees, hips, feet, and elbows. I've gone to only being able to raise my arms from 90 degrees to a full 360-degree motion. You can live pain-free too, without going under a surgeon's knife. Give Dr. Sharon Wright a call at Wright Chiropractic in Seven Lakes. 910-673-2225. That's 910-673-2225.
You know they're out there.
You know.
You can't see them.
Can't see.
You can't hear them. But you know they're there.
They're there.
Termites. You know they're hungry.
Starving.
And you know your house is their main course. So you know you have to do something.
What can you do?
It's really quite simple. You ask for Termador, the unique treatment that wipes out 100% of the termites in your home in 3 months or less. Every last termite dead.
Bye-bye.
For a long, long time. Now you know. Only Termador is 100% effective against termites in 3 months or less. So ask for Termador by name from your pest control company. Because if you're not asking for Termador, you're asking for trouble.
Termador is available at Aberdeen Exterminating. Call 944-2474. That's 944-2474.
Hello, I'm John Zumwalt, and you're in the Zumwalt Zone. When I was a kid, I used to get in trouble from time to time. As far as I know, I was guilty as charged every single time. Of course, when I did get in trouble, it was usually a teacher or my parents or some other adult. I remember one time I was in some pretty hot water because I had a toy cap pistol in class. Now, it's not what you think. Having the pistol was okay in the 3rd grade in those days. The reason I got in trouble was of what I did when the teacher left the room for 5 minutes or so. I shot off caps. Some of you are too young to know what caps are. They're little tiny strips of paper that you loaded into a toy cap gun. When you pull the trigger, the hammer would ignite and make a loud noise, kind of like a firecracker. Well, even then you couldn't do that in the classroom. The other kids were having fun. No one was terrified. Well, except me, when the teacher and the principal stormed into the room. Now, I got to tell you, I was very, very afraid of our principal. She grabbed me and took me to their office. She asked me what my excuse was. I told her I had no excuse. Well, boy, I'd have one now in the year 2019 and it would work. I'd look at her right in the eye and say, Miss Blackman, you are a bigot. You hate me because I am a minority, because I am a beautiful Italian woman trapped in this body. I'm calling CNN and I'm telling you how you treated me. You couldn't do that then, even in the Zumwalt Zone.
Our cold front has moved on by, but there's still a lot of cloud cover lagging behind the front. It'll be partly to mostly cloudy this morning, partly to mostly cloudy this afternoon, and that mostly cloudy aspect east of I-95. Windy and mild with mid-50s to low 60s. Tonight is mostly clear. It's a colder night. The low temperature in the low to mid-30s. Valentine's Day, morning sunshine, mostly cloudy later in the day. Our highs in the low to mid-60s. Mostly cloudy and milder on Friday. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
And now, the Sandhills' #1 morning show. Mornings with the Leader Man. Here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. And heard and seen around the world at talk973.com.
The best part of waking up is waking up with us.
What day is it today?
That is an excellent question.
It's Wednesday. Hump Day.
Oh, yeah.
I bust my hump every day.
We're the #1 show.
Okay. say.
You got a hit show. We're entertainers.
That's debatable.
What a freak show. Freak show. That's more like it. Are you ready for an exciting and challenging day? It's showtime.
Good morning. Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM, WEEB. Welcome back to the most listened to program in all of the Sandhills. It is time once again for Mornings with the Leader Man. I am Steve Leader Adams, and don't forget, of course, this program being heard and seen around the world on a live video stream. That's available to you from our website at talk973.com. Top and middle of the page is where the link's located that will get you there. If you're on your mobile device, just need our audio stream. That's available through streaming services such as TuneIn, iTunes, and Streamer. Just put WEEB into that search. And if you're on our website, you can always get our crystal clear digital audio stream 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year by clicking the icon in the upper right-hand corner of any of our web pages at talk973.com. The icon says listen live. Tap it once and you're listening just that quick. It's going to be partly cloudy today. Warm, high of 61. Tonight, clear, 31. Tomorrow, more sunshine, warmer. Look for a high of 64. Tomorrow night, we start to cloud up a low of 44. Mostly cloudy for Friday. You will see a little sunshine pop through there. High of 68. Still the middle of winter, isn't it? Friday night part, mostly cloudy, a few scattered showers, a low of 60. And Saturday, mostly cloudy, 50-50 shot of getting wet, 62 for a high. Sunday, still a 50-50 chance of getting wet, but a high of 55, 56 on Monday. Right now around the Sand Hills, winds are west-southwest of 5, visibility 10 statute miles. Pressure is 30 even, dew point 35, humidity 79%, is sunny. 41 degrees currently here at Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. All right, it is 8:28, 28 past the hour. It's being Wednesday and all. It's time for another extended edition, easy for me to say, edition of the Zumwalt Zone. John's in the studio this morning. Today's guest is Jim Peterson, who is Moore County Department of Veteran Services chief executive, I guess, and does a lot for the veterans here. We know we got thousands and thousands of veterans that do live here, so whether you're a veteran or not, you will benefit from this little interview, John.
Well, thank you, Steve, and, you know, actually you will benefit from this, even if you are one of the 2 or 3 people in Moore County who hates veterans. Most people like veterans, and I appreciate you being here this morning, Jim. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Excited to be here. Thank you.
You're a former Marine, is that right?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
So you're not used to being up this early?
No.
You guys
this is late for me.
Y'all used to sleep at 9 or 10 in the Marine Corps.
PT 0530.
Yeah, shooting doesn't start till 11.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we've got a lot to cover, and I'm telling you, if you're listening, I think you're going to find out some things that you didn't know about the benefits of having so many veterans living in Moore County. I also want you to listen because some of you may know a man or a woman who needs some help, and they may not seek it out themselves, and this would be a good time for you to find out how you can help them. We've got many, how many veterans do we have in our community?
Just over 10,000, but that's going on 2010 census numbers.
So that was could be 9 years ago. I did the math.
There could be a few more right now.
Yeah, I'm sure there are a lot more. Now, that's 10,000 veterans. That doesn't count their husbands, their wives, their brothers, their sisters, their children, and all the people who would love to see their veteran get some help.
Yeah, doesn't count active duty.
It doesn't even count active duty. Wow. So, who funds your organization?
Moore County government with your tax
You're funded
dollars.
Strictly by Moore County government?
Yes.
By our commissioners?
Yes.
Okay. I think I would like to use this minute to throw out a big thank you to all of our commissioners. I was at a commission meeting when they voted on this one year, and it was unanimous, and they had very good things to say. When you hear some of the things we're about to tell you, I believe that you will think this is money well spent. And while I'm at it, let me throw out a little thank you to the owner of this station, Steve Adams. A lot of you don't realize this radio time costs money, and Steve gives away a lot of free airtime to all kinds of good causes. You may think he's a curmudgeon, and like me, he is sometimes, but he is a very good-hearted man, and it's amazing how much free time that he gives out. And thank you to him, and thank you to the commissioners. A huge thank you. Now, Jim, as a veteran myself, one of my biggest pet peeves are the doggone guys, men and women, who are malingerers. Let me give you a good example. I was in VA one time, and the guy told me that one of the counselors said they had a 22-year-old young man who'd been in the Air Force for 2 years who wanted to get compensation because he was going bald. So, if you know, I hate these people. I know all veterans do. Malingerers. Do you have a problem with malingerers?
I hear what you're saying, but there's a much bigger problem. You know, of course, in anything, you're going to have that 10%, just like the military. But the bigger problem, especially with combat veterans, they don't want to admit they have any problems or disabilities. Right now, World War II veterans never wanted anything from the government, never asked for anything. They did their time, but, you know, it was their duty. Their families are not, they need benefits. Their families drag them into their office to receive what they're owed.
Good. And so a message there might be, if you have a spouse, a grandfather, a father who you believe needs help legitimately, what do, Jim?
Call us.
And make an appointment.
Yep, 947-3257.
We'll repeat that several times before we're through. All right, here's the part that I think that all you evil people who hate veterans are going to like. How much money last year, not counting the active duty, did the veterans bring into this county because of the benefits they're receiving from VA?
Total VA expenditures in this county was just over $93 million.
Over $93 million, and that is, if that's not a good return on investments, as far as I'm concerned, it would be enough just to be able to help the veterans.
Yeah, I've heard it called an economic stimulus in veteran services.
Yeah. I wish there were some way, I want to get into everything you're going to say, but I wish there were some way that we could magically allow everyone who doesn't know what our veterans or our service people do to just somehow magically see them for 1 minute, to see them in combat-related situations, in stress-related situations, away from their families, all the things they do. And all these old men you see, and women, walking around town, hunched over, limping, can barely walk, is because of too many parachute jumps, too many times carrying a rucksack a long way, too many times doing all the different things, going up and top hilltops and mountaintops and jumping out of the backs of tanks and doing unbelievable things over and over and over for 20 years. And yeah, they're hurt. Jim, you're not the VA.
No.
Is that right?
No, we are really a veterans advocate. We help you deal with the VA.
Okay, so if I say, for example, someone hears this and they come into your office and they tell you, I am a World War II veteran. I've suffered greatly for many years, and I know there are some out there. Is there anything you can do for them? They tell you they broke their knee or their leg in World War II, and they've suffered ever since then.
A lot of these veterans, they think because they can walk, because they were able to work, they don't have any disabilities. But VA disability, like, you see this finger here? Got a little arthritis in there? That's a VA disability. So a lot of these, especially combat veterans, PTSD, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, they didn't have hearing protection. Ringing in your ears, that's a disability. They can be paid for
it. To some people, this is going to sound like a scam because you can get paid because you ruined your finger in the military or you rang it in your ears. Is it a scam?
No, it's the disability. It's compensation because of the conditions you suffered, the injuries you suffered, diseases on active duty impacts your ability to work. So this VA compensation makes up for your ability to work, maintain gainful employment.
You know, Jim, it's my opinion that a lot of men and women never enroll in the VA system because the VA system is so screwed up when it comes to bureaucracy. And I know that I've heard lots of stories about, man, I went down, I tried to do it, and I had to wait hours, and then they got my paperwork mixed up. Can you help them there?
We can. The bureaucracy actually keeps me employed, I guess you can say, but it's not the VA staff, it's not VA policy, it's the law that they have to follow, and that makes it complicated.
So I know that when a person comes into your office, you're able to kind of cut through that bureaucracy.
Yeah.
Am I reading that right?
Yes, we receive, you need to be accredited to work in our office or to advocate for veterans, and it takes about 2 years of training to be able to learn to navigate that bureaucracy.
So you have, in other words, if I'm reading you right, you have ways that you can it's like anything else. If you know all the little ins and outs and secrets, you're able to do that. With a guy like me at home on a computer, it is maddening.
Yep, it is, because just by law, I receive a VA letter in the mail, about 10 pages.
Yeah.
You have no idea what it says or what it means. Is by law, the VA has to tell you all those little innuendos, all that law. And nobody can decipher all that.
So if someone had a letter like that, can they bring it into your office?
Bring it into us. We'll decipher it for you and put it in layman's terms.
So if you're out there and you're listening and you haven't, because you thought you didn't deserve it, or you're too proud to get it, or you didn't know you had anything coming, or if you just need some help, or if your husband or your wife does, your father, call Steve and make an appointment and see if you can get some help. Say the number again, Steve.
91 Jim Peterson. Steve's over there. 910-947-3257.
Can I get anything because I called you Steve instead of
moments?
Can I get anything for that?
They owe me a biscuit this morning.
Okay. All right. That's someone calling in and complain. When someone goes into the health system at VA, can you get involved in that? Can you tell them, their doctor, what they need? Or
no, we do get a lot of requests for that. We can help you get enrolled in the VA healthcare, help you navigate, get an appointment, get you to the specialty you need to be at, but we can't tell VA doctors how to treat you, what to prescribe, medical equipment you think you need. We get a lot of that, but that's up to the doctor. They're the specialists there.
Well, they weren't my plan. I was hoping to get a hot tub out of this.
Yeah.
Jim is also the treasurer for the Disabled Veterans of America here in Moore County. Now, I know you guys, because I'm a member, have a way to get people to the hospital that cannot make it otherwise. Can you tell us about that?
DAV Chapter 83. DAV, we have about 7 volunteer drivers right now. If you're a veteran in Moore County, you have an appointment with the VA. I don't have the number off the top of my head, but you go on the DAV Chapter 83 Facebook. The number's on there.
Or they can call you.
Yeah, they can call us, and we'll get you in touch with them. But they will take you to the VA. They won't take you to any private appointments, but they'll take you to the VA hospital or VA clinics.
Okay, to be clear, that's a pretty important piece of information.
Yep.
And you guys are about to get a brand new van. Is that
yes,
correct?
Yep.
And I want to
within the next few months, we'll have a brand new van.
I've got to give Ford Motor Company, right?
Yep. There's going to be a brand new van, handicapped accessible and all that. Ford pays a third. DAV National pays a third, and the Moore County chapter pays a third.
That's pretty good.
Yes.
That's a pretty significant thing.
Yes.
One thing I like about the Disabled American Veteran Association is this. If a average club, let's just say, I'll pick one out at random, Lions Club, and someone comes up to them who has one arm missing from combat and asks for money, well, they're more than likely going to feel sorry for him, and I'm glad they do, and give him money. But when it comes to disabled veterans, you've got to have some kind of a history. If you just are just a sloucher, if you're just a bum, you're not getting any money.
No.
But Lord bless you, if you're just a victim of circumstances and you're where it's not your fault, then yes, we will help. And
DAV Chapter 83 has helped a lot of veterans tremendously. And right now we're, I believe the last check, we're supporting Sandhills Coalition. I believe the last check was $2,000 a few months back to the Sandhills Coalition. So we're reaching out. We have a scholarship also we started with Sandhills, $500 scholarship to veterans at Sandhills.
And individuals who need help with their light bill or whatever.
Well, we did do that. We had a committee that would vet them, but now we're kind of partnered a little more with the coalition because they have people a little better trained at interviewing and weeding out those 1-2% malingerers.
Okay, so you're still accomplishing the same goal.
Yes.
But okay.
Getting more bang for our buck.
Let's talk a little bit about who you serve. If a guy comes into your place and he said, I got other than honorable discharge, can you help him? And by the way, if you're listening, it's not me.
We get requests for those quite a bit.
Seriously?
Yes, but usually if you get other than honorable, there was a pattern of behavior, and you can't just fill out paperwork and get it upgraded. You have to show the military board from whatever branch you were discharged from that it is in their best interest to upgrade your discharge. Like volunteering at churches, volunteering for veterans organizations, going to school, being a productive citizen. You have to prove to them that you've changed and it's for the better society.
Yeah. Well, that reminds me, I was talking to you earlier, and you had a pretty good reason to join the Marines. Why did you join?
I was tired of my dad telling me what to do. And I said, I want to be my own man. I'm going to go join the Marines. And him and my uncle had a good laugh at me.
So I'm just curious, did the drill instructor, was he a wonderful change for you?
I did get some discipline that I needed. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. We know that you were able to serve veterans. And I've got some of you may remember a few months ago when Mr. Moss, the 92-year-old World War II veteran, sought help. And he had waited until he was really sick. And the citizens of Moore County, Commissioner Catherine Graham made us aware, and the citizens came together and really supplied him with a lot of stuff. The veterans, Jim and the rest, and could not do much for him because of the paperwork. Although, I want to tell you that I was talking to Congressman Hudson's, the aide that's in charge of this, and she said she just went nuts because she was talking to the VA directly, the person who's in charge of this, and it's just such a slow process.
Yes.
The only reason I tell that story is get in the system now.
Yeah, Mr. Moss was a perfect example. A World War II veteran, served his country, felt like he did his duty, never wanted anything from the government, never wanted VA health care or anything. And his at the end of his life there, when he really needed the help, that's when his family forced him to ask for help. But it was the VA bureaucracy takes so long. He needed the care in days, but it takes months to really get in there and get what you need.
Well, Jim, I know you serve veterans. What about the widows of veterans? Is there ever a time you can help them?
Oh yes. Even if people don't know what you don't know what you don't know. So I encourage everyone, if you could just get a copy of your spouse's DD-214, death certificate, marriage certificate, come on into our office and let an accredited veteran service officer interview you. There's all kinds of programs. There's a widow's pension program. It's income-based, but they look at your income and medical expenses. There's dependents indemnity compensation, DIC. If a veteran somehow died from a service-connected disability, the widow will get about $1,300 a month, free health insurance paid for the VA, tax breaks, all kinds of assistance.
And which, by the way, she deserves.
Yes.
I've said this since I can remember being an adult and being in the military. The true heroes of this whole thing are the families, the ones that stay behind, not knowing if you're dead or alive. Sometimes they don't know where you are, and the sink stopped up, and the car breaks down, and they never complain. At least while you're deployed.
And a big one, widows of Vietnam veterans, even if the veteran never had any disability, never filed for anything, if he died from something that's Agent Orange related, like just about any type of cancer, heart disease, the widow can still get benefits. It would be considered a service-connected death.
Well, let's talk about Agent Orange. I've had two friends that died of what I and they and their doctors believe was Agent Orange related. But they were my age, and they fought until their death and never got a thing.
Yeah, that's the bureaucracy, the complicated system. But what you need, there's 11 or 13 different conditions that the government agrees. If you step foot on the ground in Vietnam, you're exposed to Agent Orange. And if you ever get one of these conditions, it's presumptive. It'll be service-connected. But even if you get a disease or cancer that's not on that list, if you get a doctor, a specialist, to say they believe this is caused by Agent Orange, the dioxins, the poisons in it, and why, you can still be service-connected. You need someone like us that knows the system, how to get those things and present it to the VA.
And again, I want to say this. if you're listening, it may sound to you like, oh, this is a big scam. If you claiming Agent Orange, you haven't seen these folks that are claiming this.
Yeah, blood cancer is not a scam.
You haven't seen them bent over and could barely walk and barely breathe, and their wife having to feed them, and them trying to pay their bills. It's awful. Yep. And we all know what it is, what caused that. Do you get paid, Jim, if you die? Do they pay for your funeral?
They won't pay for your funeral up front, but there will be. You can receive reimbursement. If it's a service-connected death, there's a $2,000 reimbursement. If you're a low-income veteran that was eligible for the Veterans Pension Program, there's a lot. I won't get into all that. But you can get up to $700 reimbursement. But the VA wants that paid funeral bill before they do any reimbursement.
So it's reimbursed. Yep. What about if you're retired?
Retired, same thing.
Can you be buried in one of the veterans hospitals like
Arlington? There's a lot of requirements. I can't remember them all off the top of my head, but retirees, if you die on active duty, KIAs, you could be buried in Arlington. But you can't, a lot of the federal veteran cemeteries, you can't set your burial up before. You have to wait till you pass, and then your family has to contact Arlington, and then they set it all up from there.
You have a kind of a horror story about a burial of someone. I wish you'd tell it. And the reason I want you to is because it illustrates perfectly the out-of-control bureaucracy in this nation.
Yeah, I remember telling you that story before. My son-in-law, he was KIA in Afghanistan. His funeral, everything was perfect until at the end of the ceremony at the Spring Lake Cemetery, there was one man working that whole funeral. One staff member for the whole cemetery. After the event, they pushed his casket onto a golf cart. One man drove the golf cart to the place where he was going to be buried and then left. He was just left there. His casket was halfway on the golf cart, halfway off. And I stood there and watched. I think it was 30, 45 minutes, just sat there alone. And then when I did some asking around, there was just one man working that whole day for the whole funeral. And actually for OSHA certified burial, there's supposed to be 3 people there. I don't know if they fixed that problem yet or not. But
they haven't, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I keep hearing about the something called aid in attendance. Does that sound right?
Oh yeah, there's a well, actually, there's a lot of groups that go around. We call them pension poachers. There's a veterans pension program and a widow's pension program. It's for low-income veterans, and there's 3 rates of it. You get basic pension, housebound, and aid and attendance. There's no standalone aid and attendance benefit, but there's a lot of groups go around say the secret, unknown, little-known benefit aid and attendance. You can get it. There's asset limits and income limits. A lot of the groups right now they're implementing a look-back period, so we're going to do away with a lot of it. But these groups would there was an $80,000 asset limit. These groups would get the veterans to invest their money with them to hide that money, so then they can. They're under the asset limit. And then there's another group. We'll help you get this secret aid and attendance benefit, but you have to join our financial planning service, which is $600 a month. Mm-hmm. Low-income people, that's predatory.
So anything that they can do, you can do.
Yes.
Better.
For free. And better.
For free, yeah.
Let me remind everybody, we're talking with Jim Peterson, who is Moore County Department of Veteran Services Director, on this extended Zoom Walt zone. John?
Thank you. I didn't know I was going to ask you this. I just thought of it. To me, the Coast Guard are one of the true heroes of this nation. I love Coast Guard men, women. The things they do are unbelievable. Are they covered under any of this?
Yes, Coast Guard. I know, right, there were some changes. If we're not at wartime, Coast Guard is part of Homeland Security. At wartime, they go under DOD. But, yes, they get all the veterans' benefits.
Good. So if you're a Coast Guard member or you know someone who is, let them know. Yeah. They are under Homeland Security, as Jim said, unless there's war. But they should be under DOD all the time.
Yes.
They're protecting this great nation, and they get screwed a lot because of that.
Probably a lot of PTSD with the catching drug runners and having firefights.
Yeah. Not to mention going out in unbelievable rescues in the middle of the ocean and those boats they have that can tip over on purpose. Have you seen those?
Oh, yes.
They get righted again in rough water. Man. Did I read this correctly? Is the Navy going to start certifying people for Agent Orange if they were on a ship during the Vietnam War?
There was a Court of Veterans Appeals case that awarded one veteran who went to the court because he was within the 12-mile offshore radius of Vietnam. Right? So it's precedent. Court of Veterans Appeals cases a set of precedents. The VA has 90 days to appeal that case, and their official response right now is we are reviewing the decision, and we'll give an appropriate response.
So in other words, long after I'm dead and gone, they'll probably come up with an answer.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to appeal it or not, but if you were in the Navy and your ship was within 12 miles of Vietnam, according to that case, you will, the same as being boots on ground in Vietnam, it would be presumed that you were exposed to Agent Orange.
There are some veterans who can qualify for a property tax reduction in Moore County. Is that a correct statement?
If a veteran is rated 100% disabled, permanent and total by the VA, they can get a $45,000 tax exclude. Whatever the tax department appraises your house at, they'll take $45,000 off that appraised value.
Is that a Moore County?
It's a state benefit, yes.
Okay. Well, God bless them. If you're 100% disabled because of your military service, I can't imagine someone begrudging you that.
Yeah. But if you come to our office, we can't make you 100% disabled. We don't rate you 100%. We help you file a claim to the VA, and you go through that process.
And so if you deserve it,
yes,
you may be able to get a... What about... One of my pet peeves is, I have to tread lightly here, is seeing so many people park in a handicapped space with a placard and get out and bounce in. Now, I understand some of them may have conditions I can't see. I get that. But I can't help but believe some of them are taking advantage of this or driving someone else's car with their placard. What does it take to get a disabled veteran's license plate?
For the disabled veteran license plate, that's another state benefit. You have to be 100% permanent and total, and then we sign off on that form, verify that you're 100% permanent total by the VA, and then you take that form down to the license plate office, and then they do the process so you get your license plate. But if you see that DV tag and a little handicap, they're 100% disabled by the VA.
You know, I saw a guy the other day, I don't know where we were, could have been Walmart, much as I do not like going to Walmart, but he had a disabled veteran plate. He was parked a mile away, it seemed like. He got out and kind of just staggered in there.
He could be 100%. Well, you don't know, but he could be 100% for his heart, and he needs that exercise.
Well, God bless him, because he didn't take advantage of it.
Could be cancer too, and he.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To come see you guys, you used to could just walk in, and I think now you require appointments. Is that right?
Yeah, we require appointments to file a claim. If it's just a quick question, you need a license plate form, sign off, something quick like that, just come on in. But to file a claim, we like to take an hour or sometimes even more to go through everything, so we file a good claim for you.
How long does it take to get an appointment with you guys?
Right. At one time, we were out to 6 weeks. Right now, we're down to about 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, as a guy who tried to file myself and just finally gave up, it's worth a 2-week wait.
Oh, yeah.
And when I know from going into your office that you take your time and you actually do make a person feel like they're important and that their case matters.
Yeah.
And don't you agree with me that most of the VA's problems are not at the lower level? They're up at the top.
Yeah, it is. They follow the law, and it just makes it complicated. Everything they do in their processing, their policies, everything, they're following the federal law.
And I know there are exceptions to the make an appointment thing, because I know that you guys jumped through hoops to try to help Mr. Moss. And, and the reason you did, because he was dying, and he needed help.
It's our policy. If they're advanced age, terminal illness, homeless, you don't make an appointment. We tell you, if you call us, we say, get in here now. Or if you come in our office and you're falling that category, just hang on. We'll take care of you. Or POWs also. So we don't have too many of those left. If you're POW, you come in, we're going to take care of you.
Yeah, well, good. It's good to hear that.
Yeah.
What kind of I keep hearing, I read from time to time about an old guy getting a hunt or fish for nothing because he's a veteran. Is that a rumor, or is that true?
Oh, there is it's not for, you get a reduced rate for, if you're 50, rated at 50% or higher with the VA for disability, you get a reduced rate on the lifetime hunting and fishing license. I think normally it's about $400 to $500, and if you're 50%, and you have to come to our office, get that form certified by us that you're 50%, then you take it or mail it wherever you get your license, hunting and fishing license at. But it's about $100 rather than $400 to $600.
So the bottom line is, this nation is trying to help veterans.
Yes.
And the best way to get that help in Moore County is to come to your office. And,
Yes.
and tell us where your office is.
We're in the Moore County Agricultural Building, 707 Pinehurst Avenue in Carthage.
Okay, and that is where they do early voting.
Yep.
It's also down from the from Glenda's office. So what's
we're kind of across the street from the Board of Elections, behind the Health Department, right next door, or across other side of the pond from Pine Lake Nursing
in
Home.
Carthage, of course.
Yes.
Well, Jim, I tell you, I'm a huge fan of what you do, and I'm a huge fan of the commissioners because they voted for this and fund you.
Veteran Services is not a mandated service. Not all counties have a Veteran Service Office.
We're very blessed, and this is just for Moore County veterans.
Yes.
Well, and it's harsh to say, but they keep you busy, and after all, we are the ones paying for it. And, and that sounds harsh. Well, thank you, Jim. Can you give your number out one more time before we go?
Moore County Veteran Service Office number is 910-947-3257.
Do you have a website?
Yes, just go to moorecountync.gov and just click Veteran Services on there. You can we have a lot of information. I'm updating that website, but there's a lot of information on there.
Well, it makes a lot of sense to get you to help people apply, even though they might have to wait 2 weeks to do it, because if they try it themselves, it's going to get kicked back.
Yeah, it's going to get kicked back,
and you're going to
do it again.
Yeah, you're going to be and it'll take them 6 weeks to kick it back.
Yeah.
So it makes a whole lot of sense. Well, Jim, thanks a lot for what you do and for helping veterans.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
I don't think we can ever help the veterans enough.
No.
All right. Well, so it goes for this Wednesday. Have yourself a great, safe day. We'll see you back bright and early tomorrow, 7 to 9, for a Thumping Thursday with the Leader Man. Until then, be sure to support all the mom and pop businesses you hear on our airways, because they are the backbone of our economy here in Moore County. Your money will stay here, roll over, and create jobs. And, of course, don't forget, millions of Americans have fought and have died to give and protect the freedoms that you get to enjoy today. So live today worthy of their and their family's sacrifice. I'm Steve Leader Adams and the Leader Man, and Nick and Colt the dog. We'll all see you at the Warming Up Dog Park this afternoon at about 2 p.m.